Hi, I'm Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names Board Game Podcast. You know the other guy, and I just want to take a few moments of your time and talk to you about a new project that's coming from the Sadler brothers, Street Masters Rise of the Kingdom. As I said, Street Masters is designed by Adam and Brady Sadler and will be published by Blacklist Games, assuming funding goals are going to be met during the campaign. We received a demo copy, and while it is a demo copy, not everything is final. The artwork's not final, the miniatures are not final, but I do want to show you, here's one of the fighters. It's a great little resin, plenty of detail, and the Sadlers have told me that, yeah, other than being resin, this is pretty close, but they'll make some changes. And the artwork is pretty special right now, but it can change as well. Here's some of the cards that they will be using in the game. Now, before I get started, I'm not going to go an in-depth playthrough, but what I want to do is spend time discussing the strengths that I believe exist in this game to help you decide if it is something worthy of your time. But in order to do this, I do need to do a high-level overview. First off, this is a co-op game where the players are the team that are fighting the boss. Now, the players will win if they defeat the boss. They lose if the boss defeats a player or gets the objectives from the scenario. Now, on a fighter's turn, what they will do is they will have a threat. They will draw a threat card from the boss's main deck. Then they will move to their turn. The fighter will either move, play a card, or do an action from the card. Now you may choose all three of these during your turn, but you must complete each one before you move to the next one. Finally, they react to any threats that are in their area. The players will need to handle some minions that may come out and battle them during the threat phase. Either way, they have to finish up the react. Well, are all the players done? If they're not, go back up to the top. Next player does the threat phase. If they are, then it is the enemy's turn. The boss is responsible for coming out and doing his battle as well. And once that's done, it's in the stage part where the objective of the game comes through. What are my thoughts on the game? First off, this is a co-op game. And in a co-op game, there's one thing that I always require, and that is tension in the game. You have to have tension. One of the reasons why we love Pandemic so much is the epidemic. Yeah, all you're doing is putting cubes on the board, but when you're the player and you're doing the epidemic, you are sitting there, you have the board. Do you have it ready to handle the epidemic? Can you handle an outbreak? Did you do everything you could before that player draws two cards? In Street Masters, you have that same type of tension. You've got tension of the threat deck coming out and putting cards before you. You have the tension of when you roll dice to determine how the punches are going to land. All that is going into the game as a co-op. Did you do everything you could to defeat the minions that are in play? Have you protected the other players so you don't lose? I mentioned another thing that I enjoy so much about the game, and that's the dice. Dice in a game, love having dice in a game. They add the randomness that I like. But what's really cool about this game is that it will provide you with the opportunity to have the dice come out and build the theme of the game. When I say the theme of the game, what do you mean? Because the dice do not hamper you. You will either hit or have a critical hit. You don't miss when you're rolling the dice in this game. So it adds to the theme of the game as well as to the tension of the game. One other thing that I really like about this game is something that we love in all of our games, and that is the cards. The cards are the meat of the game. They are what make this game. They are how you are going to attack the boss. It is what you need to do in order to be able to win the game. One of the things you have to worry about is that when you're playing these cards, do they have the right type of hits? Do they have the right type of, is there punching, there's grappling, there's kicking. Now, one of the things that happens is there are defensive tokens that the boss and the fighters can take, and they can soak up that damage. So if a boss has a whole bunch of kicking defense tokens, and that's the only type of action card that you have to do the damage to him, he's just going to soak it up. So part of the strategy in playing the cards is making sure you balance out how they will attack the boss. Now, you're drawing these cards during your turn. Hopefully the deck will be kind enough to you that you will get the right cards that you need. So As the game progresses, you may need to adjust your strategy, but the cards are what make this game. They are the meat of the game, and it's really neat on how they build the combos throughout the game as the game continues to go longer and longer. Now, I will say this. People will think, well, all I gotta do is defeat the boss. Maybe we'll just rush the boss. You can't do that in this game. There is a lot of strategy in how you're going to play out your turn. You may need to go help your other fighters so that they don't die. Like I said, the tension in the game gets ramped up as the threat level gets turned over. More minions could appear. One person may get a whole bunch of them. So you've got to balance out attacking the boss or helping someone else or gaining some defensive tokens for yourself. All those are strategic actions that you need to make. Well, I hope that this information will help you decide if this is a game for your group and if your budget will allow it. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule. Hope this helps you kind of make a final decision on whether you want to back this project or not. Once again, I'm Tony from Rolling Dice and Taking Names.